All right, y'all, I am here. I am back from vacation, and I am excited to start talking about the news again. I've been following it a little bit since I've been gone. I really caught up within the last day. Howard Stern apparently sort of ruthlessly mocked anti-vaccine people who ended up dying from COVID. He was specifically referring to the four conservative radio hosts who are more like local level right-wing radio hosts who ended up dying from the virus. So let me give you a little bit of what was said. This is according to Mediaite. So Howard Stern went on his show and said, quote, "It's really funny when the radio guys are the best. They're four of them died. Four of them were ranting on the air. They will not get vaccinated. They were on fire, these guys. It was day after day, they were all dying, and their dying words are, I wish I had been more into the vaccine. I wish I had taken it." Stern said, laughing several times, quote, "I have trouble drumming up compassion, and I think that's a terrible thing to not be able to drum up compassion for people that are stupid, that they wind up dying." Robin Quivers said that. Where do I have that clip of Mark Bernier, the guy who died? I got it here. Here it is. This is the guy, Stern said, playing a clip of Bernier saying he would not get the vaccine. Stern remarked that there were three others, quote, "They're on the radio preaching this shit. I'll tell you what, far as I remember, when I went to school, you had to get a measles vaccine, you had to get a mumps vaccine, it was a ton of them," Stern said. "When are we going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say, it's mandatory to get vaccinated?" Stern asked. "Fuck them. Fuck their freedom. I want my freedom to live. I want to get out of the house already. I want to go next door and play chess. I want to go take some pictures." So that's what he said. It's causing quite a bit of controversy. The point in here, now, okay, hold on. Let's pause. When it comes to compassion, I actually do feel compassion for the people who were brainwashed with an endless stream of propaganda against the vaccine. So I do feel bad for those people. Now, maybe it's a slightly different calculation if it's one of these people who was leading the propaganda charge against the vaccine, because if anything, they're responsible for getting other people to doubt the vaccine and then not take the vaccine. So I guess it's a little more of a complex and complicated and nuanced picture in terms of who I feel for and who I don't feel for. But I think that Robin is correct when Robin says the fact that sometimes I don't feel compassion, I think is a bad thing. I think I probably should feel compassion because it's the right thing to do. It's just a human level. Even if you could say they're idiots, they're dumb, they're stupid, they're ignorant, whatever you want to say, still at the end of the day, should the punishment for that be death? Should it be a death sentence for a crime of not being able to put two and two together? The part that I think Howard Stern is 1,000,000% correct on, and this point isn't made nearly enough in my opinion, is that when you go to school, there's a long list of vaccines you have to take in order to go to the school. And he lists some of them: measles, mumps, I think rubella's on the list. Now I think they have a chickenpox vaccine, polio. There's a bunch of them. When I was a kid, I had to take them. I was born in 1988. I'm sure the laundry list of vaccines that you have to take now is significantly longer. It's weird to me that people get really outraged about the COVID vaccine in particular, but then they'll end up getting all the other vaccines and sending their kid to a public school. And so I don't understand that disconnect. I would almost respect it more if somebody was wrong across the board and they were like, no, I don't want any of the vaccines. So my slight disagreement with Howard Stern, though, is he says it should just be a national mandate and that's the end of the conversation. I actually disagree with that. Now, don't get me wrong. The vaccines are safe. The vaccines are effective. The vaccines have saved countless lives. The data is irrefutable. It's overwhelming. It's still over 95% to protect you from severe illness, hospitalization, and death. So I'm as pro-vaccine as it gets. I just say, as a matter of principle, I am uncomfortable with the government telling you, you absolutely have to, with no wiggle room whatsoever, put this substance in your body and I'm going to make you do it with force of law. That goes a step too far. So what I've said is this: I'm in favor of what I would call a soft mandate. And a soft mandate basically means that there are various mandates at different levels of society, and there's always going to be a little bit of wiggle room. So if you're really committed to being wrong and dumb on this, you can get out of having to get the vaccine. But yeah, should kids have to get vaccinated in order to go to schools? Yes. Should you have to be vaccinated if you work with kids? Yes. Should you have to be vaccinated if you work at a nursing home or a hospital? Yes. Should you have to be vaccinated in, a variety of professions where you're dealing with either the immunocompromised or the really elderly or whatever? Yes. So at a number of different levels, I support these soft mandates. And basically you want to make it so that the default is everybody gets vaccinated, and then you'd have to really, really, really be brainwashed in order to try to opt out of it, and your life would be more difficult. It's like you're forced now to homeschool your kids, or you're forced now to get a job that is less of a danger. The other thing is, there's always another way to do it, so this is why I'm not in favor of a full mandate as well. You could also just say, okay, if you don't get the vaccine, fine, but we're going to mandate you have to get tested every single week to make sure you don't have COVID. Now, is that going to be annoying? Of course it's going to be fucking annoying. But that's the point. It should be annoying. It should be a little bit of a pain in the butt to try to avoid getting the vaccine, because the vaccines are safe, the vaccines are effective, the vaccines work. And if everybody had actually gotten vaccinated to this point, we'd already be at herd immunity and there'd be so few cases, it wouldn't be an issue. So now think about it. You and me, most of the people who watch this show got vaccinated. You and me are now forced to protect somebody who's unvaccinated because there's all these mask mandates again now. So the burden to protect somebody who can protect themselves is now on you and me. But wait a second, I already got the vaccine. I already took care of my health and my wellness and made the decision that was best. But now it's on me to protect an unvaccinated person more than it's on the unvaccinated person to protect themselves. So I have to wear a mask for them. You, if you're vaccinated, have to wear a mask for them. So now they're sort of imposing on us now, aren't they? By making the wrong decision, by not getting vaccinated, now you put even more of a burden on the vaccinated. That, we have to wear masks. It just seems unfair. Now, there are breakthrough cases, of course, but they're more rare. And if you get COVID, it's likely to be much, much more milder symptoms. And it's still over 95% protection from severe illness, hospitalization, and death, which means the vaccines are still working. So, listen, overall, I disagree in the sense I do sort of have compassion for people who were brainwashed and didn't get the vaccine. I do feel bad for them. A lot of people, it's not their fault. You just fall culturally into the wrong place and time and group, and there are really negative consequences to that. So I feel like I probably do have more compassion than Howard Stern and Robin. And I'm not in favor of a hard national vaccine, federal vaccine mandate. Or I can't talk because I've been off for a week now, so it's difficult for me to string sentences together. I'm not in favor of, at the federal level, a vaccine mandate, at the national level, a vaccine mandate. I'm okay with soft mandates, but you could always substitute that with mandatory testing every week. But overall, I think the fact that he's getting this message out there is a positive thing, because we should be talking about the fact that there are 4 conservative radio hosts who ended up dying. They were anti-vax, and then on their deathbeds, they were like, I should have gotten the vaccine. And notice something, this is the most important point. Notice who's not dying. Notice who's not getting really sick. None of the national level right-wing hosts. That's weird. You want to know why? Because apparently the national hosts know it's a grift and know they're just feeding their audience the stuff they want to hear. So if you hear like anti-vaccine stuff from Tucker or Sean Hannity or whoever it may be at the national level, understand they're vaccinated. They've made the decision. Donald Trump is vaccinated. Joe Biden is vaccinated. All the elites are vaccinated. And we're trying to keep the vaccines from developing countries. What does that tell you? It tells you they actually work and they're important and that you should get it. And remember, it's still free. You can go get it for free. So, I should be clear. It's for free if you live in the U.S. and if you live in other developed countries that have enough supply. Unfortunately, not nearly enough vaccines in the developing world, and that's on purpose. They didn't waive the patent protections. It's a whole other thing we can get into and we've gotten into before. But that says a lot, doesn't it? None of the conservative hosts at the national level are dying because they're all vaccinated and they're just feeding the audience what they want to hear and feeding that vaccine skepticism and hesitancy. The local guys are actually true believers. The local conservative radio hosts, and that's why they're dropping like flies. So do the right thing. Yes, Howard Stern's a touch too harsh here, but it is a good message to get out there because I don't want more people on their deathbed saying, fuck, I should have taken the vaccine. Go take it right now.